Wait, is he actually gonna be reasonable? What? I thought he was gonna be reasonable. That ain't reasonable. Oh shit, okay, nuclear war, alright. Is this Fallout Japan? We start off with nuclear warfare destroying the world and then go to a wholesome wedding? Alright. I mean, respect. There's no way we get away with this. Maybe they'll do like a Madoka Magica thing, where like episode 3 is when shit will hit the fan, but they'll like show us multiple stages of her doing things like this, and it will build into a bad outcome for their family sort of a thing, you know? Well, episode 3 came sooner than I was expecting. She never specified who the fatso is. So, oh my god. So by him saying this, this means his own man thought of him as fatso and he's gonna die. Oh, that's amazing. That's amazing. Yo. For the love of God. If you still haven't watched it, watch it, please. This shit's incredible. Those are some of my highlights. You want to catch full live reaction, head on over to Patreon. Now, here's the thing. I walked into this episode saying this is going to be a show that will not have an audience. These are the types of shows that the first episode might get buzz for just because it's unique. But you know what? There might actually be potential here. This might actually be able to connect to a wide audience. Historical fans or not. You want great animation? You got it. You want a unique art style? You got it. You want intense bloodshed? You got it. But do you want engaging character arcs? You fucking got it. This is basically Fallout Japan. It's the Fallout, like imagine Japanese society falling through varying degrees of nuclear warfare and turmoil, and then being rebuilt, but in a regressive sort of time period way. So while things look very retro, very hundreds of years in the past, it's actually set in the future. And the way they don't pull their punches, because once things crumble, yeah, having Japan divided into almost 3 separate kingdoms, you're bound to have some people who are holding on to power who shouldn't. And we get to see in this episode what happens when power corrupts. And power is given to people who should have never had it in the first place. The thing about this show is that you start off with a couple that are getting married or have been married, whatever. I think they were supposed to be getting married, but, you know, unfortunately didn't have the opportunity to do so. You have this, like, strong presence that's like, we need to tear down society. It's fucking corrupt. And then you seemingly have this very timid, we have to agree with the status quo. Now, to be honest, I was humming and hawing. I knew something bad would happen. As soon as I saw a man, because his potatoes fell and a fat slob tripped on them, he tied him to different horses and ripped them apart. I knew these two weren't going to have a happy ending. But I will be honest, I was humming and hawing. Would it be him dying because of some bullshit? Would he have to rise to the occasion to avenge his strong wife? I wasn't sure exactly where they were landing. But was I surprised when I saw her beheaded? No. Was I heartbroken? Abso-fucking-lutely. This is where the story really takes a turn, because the interesting thing about revenge is a dish best served cold. Had he just lashed out, he could have probably killed the fatso. But then he would have died, and then probably the village would have been punished. You don't really benefit, right? And I think for his wife, if the roles were reversed, she would have just killed the fatso for killing her husband. And I don't think that would have been wrong. But our MC is not who we're expecting. He was able to Uno reverse. It was hard to tell what he was feeling because he held it together. It was almost like he was being a bootlicker. Like, oh my god, like, may I ask permission to talk? You beheaded my wife, you know, but I still want to make sure I respect. But the thing is he knew, right? Killing him wouldn't change anything, right? It might avenge, but someone else probably equally as shitty would take his place. He clearly saw into the future. He clearly saw his path of how he wants to change the world. It's not simply about killing the shitty people. It's about making sure they can be replaced by better people. So the concept of getting immediate revenge on the reason your wife is dead. Yes, Fatso gave the order, but the entire reason that was ever known is because that douche nozzle debt collector told him that his wife called him fatso. But in fact, she didn't. She did call someone a fatso, but by you going to the fat guy in charge and saying you're the fatso, in fact, you were the one who assumed he was fatso. The Uno reverse was brilliant because it makes him look loyal. Like, you know what? I follow the rules, your guy doesn't. She did indeed hinder the debt collection, but she never called you fat. Well, that's the most important thing in the whole batch. I ain't fat, even though he's fucking obese as shit. This dude is interesting as a character because as soon as the scene was finished playing out, he mourned, he cried, he grieved, right? I think one of the best details is at the beginning of the episode, he's arguing with his wife-to-be about the wedding dress. He's like, hey, you know, you're not religious. You don't need to have the wedding dress. Like, this is more of a religious ceremony thing, blah, blah, blah. And she's like, I just think it's cute. And he thought that was stupid. The fact that he allowed her to be buried, well, he burned her body, but still, burial with the wedding dress shows that, like, you know, he came around to knowing what she wanted. That was all that was important. It's such a fascinating episode because they immediately drop the bombshell of, like, nuclear warfare in a world basically destroyed and rebuilding and how it regressed. Immediately hooks you in because I'm thinking, I'm signing myself. I never really read the synopsis. I think I did at one point where, like, I skimmed it. I completely skimmed over the nuclear warfare part, so that definitely caught me by surprise. But it immediately makes you go from, oh, this is just some historical show with maybe it'll have some fun fight scenes. I don't know what I'm expecting. To, oh, wait a second. While there will be brutality, that will help keep the monkey brains, the people who need the jingling keys, excited. In fact, the thing that really sells me on this is the way the main character's mindset is. You can hurt this man in so many ways. And I really thought he was going to be this passive, we need to go through the screen and hit him in the face so he can wake up. But no, like, when push comes to shove, he can be a menace. But he looks at the long-term picture. He's a thinker. He doesn't act on impulse. He thinks everything through. I'm going to get revenge for my wife on the immediate person because of her death. And I'm going to kill that fatso probably someday. That's how I feel. He's going to kill him someday. But he's going to make sure when he goes, someone worse isn't going to replace him. He knows that he has to act in the shadows. He knows he has to change things over the long term, not the short term. And that's the type of character writing you don't get in these shows all too often. Listen, this show is probably the most visually interesting looking show of the season, something completely different. I mean, if you watched my coverage on Needy Girl Overdose, I constantly compared that to being like a Shaft anime production. But I can compare that to other unique looking shows. I can't do that for this one. I feel like this is very much and I think it's the color palette that really sells it. It's fucking wonderful. I mean, it will pain me greatly if this crashes for me. I might try it for a couple more weeks, but fuck, I mean, this might be one of the rare shows I might just have to watch on my own if there literally is no demand for it, because this is fucking wonderful and an anime of the season contender. It came out of nowhere, and I'll be honest, I had a few people initially request, and I was like, yeah, people do that every season. People ask me for the most dog shit anime for me to cover, but then it kept piling, so I dug a little more, and I think the hype's worth it. Will it die out? Probably. I hope not. Prove me wrong. Let me know, though, you want more coverage on this on YouTube. Fuck, I love this. Thoughts down below, drop a like, share, support, subscribe, ring that bell, and of course, Patreon. We do got the full live reaction over there, and I hope to continue over there no matter what, unless... I'm so worried this show's crashing. Please prove me wrong, but as long as I watch it, I'm going to try to cover it either way, but yeah. And hey, if you already go over to my Patreon, I also love to give those video shout outs to my patrons, because they're why I get to even attempt shows like these on YouTube at all. Alright, so today we got Brendan Dyer. Pro Lolly Raider is a wild fucking name. Dhruva Kumar, German viewer, Luca, Taliener, RY, Travis Garrett, Mr. Manax, and we also have Artemis Blake, so I appreciate the support. Please take care, and you all have a good one.